with the clouds effect added, I'm going to make a selection. I'm going to stop the screen capture software because it doesn't like it when I try when I try to select the whole canvas. But select the whole area and then Control T to scale and scale it up to make it bigger. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I can do it on screen now. No, it doesn't let me do it. Okay, fine. Once you have press Control T to scale it, just scale it up, from one of the corners to make it bigger. The idea is to make that, bigger, much bigger patchy area. You can scale it as much as you need to also. So press Enter, and now the clouds effect is a little bit bigger. And what I'm going to do once again over here on the layer modes, blending modes, I'm going to start playing with the values, and you can also start changing the opacity of that layer to create it a more marked or a less visible effect. Okay, I'm going to put it around 80 over there, and let you see the difference. This is the original and this is a copy. It's kind of more, creates more patchy random effect. On the same manner, I created another layer for this overlay. If you want to give it a different color, you can just create a layer right here and fill it with whichever color you would like. Let's say you want to make it red, and use the paint bucket tool over here and click on the layer. Okay, and what you do is you can play with the opacity to see if the bottom part shows, and also with the blending modes. That way you get interesting effects like this one looks very radical, different. Look at this one, and it's very, very interesting effect with yellows added to it. I used a more toned down color on this one. So look at this one, and it looks like almost like bruises, or an effect of darker patches. So let's use that one. That one was kind of interesting. So let's go File, Save As, and I am going to save it on my 123 folder just for the sake of, I already have it selected. So I'm going to put it as a color map. Okay, and I'm going to say save, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to use the default TIFF options. Okay. And then I'm going to go to 3D Max and look at the, this is where all the map is applied. So I'm going to open the material editor, and on the diffuse, I am going to map that new color map that I just made, and let me render that view. But I want to compare so that you see the before and after. So I'm going to select this part only to render. Okay, so render region, and that's under the render menu. But when you do it first, before applying the material, you have to do it first. And then I just changed the material, and then you do the render region so that you get a before render and an after render. Okay, so then I press render, and you look at how different it looks. We obviously lost a little bit of the detail, so maybe you can go back and forth and change a little bit more the blending modes to make sure that you get some of this over here. Which is the other thing I wanted to making it's just a little bit dark. That's what happens as we added these two guys here. Maybe we can make this one a little bit more opaque. You see that it gets a little bit more lightened up. Let's save it and load it again on 3D Max. Let's see, go to the material editor and reload to reflect the newest changes, and let's just render again and see if it looks better. It starts looking a little bit more more lighter, and then the detail starts coming up. But it's up to you. I just wanted to show you the technique. I think a lighter color might actually work better with the lighting on the scene that we have right now. Wanted to show you something here. I don't know if you noticed there's a little bit of texture interruption here. That means that we need to fix the UVs on that area so that it looks a little bit more continuous. This is a loincloth, so it would not make sense that the loincloth